Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to talk about a variety of things, but the first thing I want to talk about is pay no attention to my screen if you see Bitcoin drop to $37,071. There we go. Coin360 is one of my favorite websites, and it is really struggling right now with this annoying glitch from a few days ago. But anyway, smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section, all that stuff. And here is the true price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. Guys, listen. Unfortunately, I'm about to throw in the white towel when it comes to not content creation in general, but trying to be faithful in posting multiple things of content every day. So my mother-in-law is sick. She works for me. She's sick. Right now, with winter, with everything going around, I live in, northern-ish state in the United States. Here's what happens. My wife gets sick. My mother-in-law doesn't come in because she doesn't want to get sick. So I have to fill in for her. She works for me. I get sick. She doesn't come in. One of the kids gets sick. She doesn't come in. And now she's sick. And so I'm going to have to fill in for her all week. And she usually picks up the kids at school. And so I'm going to have to go pick up the kids at school. And this is life for me now. And unfortunately, you're going to be seeing me sporadically, I suppose. But there are a few things I want to talk about, a few resources that I want to send your way, and one of them is last night, I went on Debate Crypto with the Crypto Keeper and the Blockchain Crusader. We were supposed to talk for about 45 minutes. It was very enjoyable. It ended up being about an hour and 15 minutes. Dove into some really heavy things that if you've been faithfully watching my channel, you've heard me say some things, but it was helpful to have different perspectives. It's not like we had a debate or anything like that, but perspectives from different angles on what's going on in the market. And I did most of the talking because I had the most to say. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but so Debate Crypto, check it out. Hour and 15 minutes of what I thought was fantastic, great time, fantastic content. And then another one, I highly doubt that very many people have even known to recommend this guy. So David Hunter, Dave H. Contrarian on Twitter, Contrarian macro strategist with 40 plus years of Wall Street experience. A couple things I'd definitely recommend following him on Twitter. Check out this video that he did, an interview with Adam Taggart. I'm not familiar with Adam Taggart, but David Hunter, get a gist of what he's talking about. And here is the big thing that I'm tracking him and I'm paying attention to, and that is it's crazy. We'll see if this happens, but here's what David Hunter believes is going to happen. First of all, he believed that the S&P 500 was going to go down to about $4,300. And so that has played itself out. And now we're bouncing back up. But he believes that there's going to be a melt up to $6,000 in the S&P and $45,000 in the Dow. And I don't remember the exact amount for the NASDAQ, but a much higher price over the next 3 to 5 months. And then a huge, huge crash. And so just get that perspective. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we've heard other voices looking at charts, looking at macro factors. Crypto Weatherman, for example, who probably believes something very similar. And I highly doubt that these two, Crypto Weatherman and David Hunter, have had any interaction. I want to reach out to Crypto Weatherman and ask him, do you follow him at all? And I wouldn't be surprised if he had no idea who David Hunter was. And so we're hearing this from two really, solid minds in the space. And I'd say that's something worth paying attention to. And here is the S&P 500. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the S&P 500, and by the way, if the S&P were to get to $6,000, I mean, that's six-figure Bitcoin easily, and five-figure Ethereum. That is a melt up in cryptos as well, given how much correlation there's been. And so the S&P 500, this is the SPY ETF, but 100% correlation with the S&P 500. So we had that dip last week. It was last week, or 2 weeks ago, to $4,300. And this is where this has all the makings of a fake out. And so again, I'm not saying I haven't come up with an opinion of my own as far as is this melt up going to happen, but this is the kind of thing that would happen before a melt up. This is the kind of thing that shakes retail out of it, causes strong money, smart money to buy the dip before a huge leg up in the stock market. And you can even see, you could draw a very clean channel. This is from February of 2013. February of 2013, you could draw a very clean channel with very few dips along the way. And it's simple. It's just nice and clean, up only all the time. COVID came, and then we have this new channel that's at an even faster acceleration up. And now we have this inflation that we haven't seen since the 70s. And so would that cause a new rapid channel up before everyone flees to the dollar? Which, believe it or not, yes, the dollar is still a place where people will flee to. The dollar is, in a land of awful currencies, fiat currencies. The dollar is the one that people are going to flee to when they lose faith in their own currencies, and when they see signs of a bubble. And a melt up of that proportion would very much equate to a bubble. So we'll see. Use those resources to make a decision for yourself. And if this ends up playing out the way that David Hunter, and so far so good, the way that he's saying it's going to play out, then don't get greedy. And I am going to be a voice in your ear every day if that happens. And I'm going to beg you, take healthy profits. Don't be greedy. So, okay, let's talk about Bitcoin first. I have two different charts pulled up here. Bitcoin USDT versus regular, whatever, it doesn't matter. But very simple. I drew this trend line a few weeks ago, and we're riding it. We're still along for the ride. The only deviation from it was over the weekend. And if you've ever heard me talk about weekend trading, just don't look at the charts on the weekend. Nothing, 95+% of weekends, nothing significant is going to happen. There's a CME futures close on Friday that opens on Sunday in the evening. In between that time, what happens a large majority of the time is that the price of Bitcoin within a few hours of the CME open goes back to its CME close price. Occasionally there's a gap, and eventually all those gaps get filled, which, by the way, there is a gap at $53,000. So I would, even in the most bearish scenario, expect us to fill that gap. So anyway, trend line, let's see how long this trend line goes for. If we continue to ride it up, I would not be surprised if we just continue to ride it up, but I'm going to any fiat that I have that I'm able to invest. If I see a deviation from this trend line, it's going in. $35,000, $34,000 Bitcoin, whatever else for Ethereum. I don't think we are going down to $2,200 again for Ethereum. That Ethereum, just like how I think Ethereum was leading the charge for the sell-off from that November 10th peak, I think Ethereum is right now leading the charge for the money coming back in as well. It is currently at the 2.36 retracement level. That is not a significant level, but it is something that you might see some resistance at. And if we are in a downtrend, this would make sense as that next lower high before a move down. I think we're going to break through it, but there will be a little bit of resistance there. But Bitcoin, will have a ton of resistance, not even at the 2.36 yet. But as we progress, I mean, the 382, not so much, but the point 0.5 and the bull market support band and the 0.618, those are all going to be major barriers to cross whenever that happens. If we just have an epic melt up like what I've been talking about, then sure, we're gonna blow through those barriers. We're gonna go on our way to six-figure Bitcoin and celebrate in our Lambos. I won't be getting a Lambo, you know me, but maybe we'll all take a trip to the Maldives together and drink some pina coladas. I don't know. So anyway, no worries if that's the case, but I'm constantly thinking about these things and thinking about levels that I would take profits and I would start unloading on my alts. And there's a mindset. Yes, I'm absolutely going to keep a moon bag for a large majority of alts that I own. I don't want to miss out if there's a massive explosion, but I'm at a point where just in general, I do want to de-risk some, because in my opinion, the thing that I shared on Debate Crypto yesterday is that aside from a major catalyst or aside from David Hunter being right, I just think we're going to range for the next several months. And so I don't think that Bitcoin is going to go down to $20,000 or $15,000. I've made a case for that with things that I talked about in the summer when I called that bottom, that I just think similar things are going to play out this time around, where we're not going to dump to a level that we've never been before in Bitcoin's history. We've never revisited the previous cycle all-time high, never come close to it. So anyway, those are things that are on my mind as far as what if this time is different and me being 88% in crypto or 87%, something like that. Do I want to de-risk? I mean, given the uncertain the uncertain environment, the volatility, it would make a little bit of sense, in my opinion, if you are just as much exposed to crypto, to move from the very high risk assets to something less risky. And I am absolutely including Bitcoin in this as something that I view as less risky. Because even if, Richard Hart is right and we're going down to $12,000, which in my opinion is nonsense, I am very comfortable holding my Bitcoin through all of that. And so that, and stocks, even if there's a massive crash, stocks, because they're not 13 years old like crypto, they will eventually bounce back. I do believe that. Yeah, even if David Hunter's right and we go to up to $6,000 and have a 70 to 80% $6,000 in the S&P go down to 70, 80%. $6,000. I don't know what I'm talking about. Go down to 70, 80% from there. I mean, that's what, $1,200 to $1,800. Whew. Or is it $1,500? Anyway, someone else, $1,800. $1,800 on the S&P. That's a dollar amount that's an amount that we haven't seen in a very long time. And so that'll be rough, and I don't want to be a bag holder for that. But stocks are safer than crypto in the fact that they will eventually bounce back. So that's all I'm thinking. And real estate for sure. I mean, gotta get in. The real estate will hold its value throughout all of this, which is probably why BlackRock, if you don't know, BlackRock has been buying a ton of residential real estate, because that's going to hold. It's got a limited supply, just like Bitcoin. So anyway, I'm just rambling now. I hope that you're able to get a good perspective from Debate Crypto last night, from David Hunter, from Crypto Weatherman, whoever else, and that you are not left, especially if they're right, that you are not left holding the bag, that you're not left just burned. I really, really don't want to see that happen for myself, for any of you. So hold on tight. It seems to me like no matter what happens, we're in for an incredible ride. So that's all I have for today. I will be back when I'm back. I would love to say I'll be back tomorrow. We will see. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. If you live in my area, that you prepare yourselves for this massive snowstorm that's coming. All right. Have a good one. Peace.